Don, what pleased you most about that?
I thought it was a high-pressure game that we expected coming here. We knew St Kilda's sort of first 5 games has been pretty solid in that space, and after a pretty sort of fierce opening, I thought our guys really adapted well, and from then on, I think the contested numbers really turned around, and at the end of it, I think we were plus 20 odd. So that was a standout for me. The ability to absorb it and then actually, bring it back and ask them a question, and the guys were outstanding in that space.
What did you see that made you relocate from the coach's box down?
I did a bit of that last week, to be honest, and I went up to start with just to get a feel for how the game was set up, and then went down and spent the rest of the day down there. Just it's something I tried last week, and their feedback was really positive from the players. So you see the game in a different way down there, but you also see it through their eyes, which just allows you to actually communicate with them one-on-one.
I guess you really wanted to get a message across because they did start slowly.
Yeah, we did. It wasn't probably. I didn't leave on the basis of the scoreboard. I was always going to probably spend 5 to 10 minutes up top and then come down. So, it's always it's probably easier to coach from there, especially with the lack of the runner, because you actually get the guy's direct eyes when you're talking to him versus down the phone. He's probably still watching the game half. So, we'll keep exploring whether we do that. Well, I'm not saying we'll do it every week, but I've done it the last couple of weeks.
Turning it around after quarter time, was that purely about contested ball, or was there anything else?
I think we're probably early. I mean, St Kilda's pressure was good early, and we'd certainly the contested numbers early were not so good. I thought at quarter time we'd started to address a little bit of that, but following on from that, it was probably just about getting some field position. I thought early I think they had 9 shots at goal in the first quarter, so our ability to win that contest stuff, whether it be at clearance or around the ground, and get some field position, just put some pressure on them, and that's the nature of the game these days. It's a very territory-based game, and we're able to get that.
It felt like a really important win against a side that was going well and had started well, and for you guys to come up with that one, it felt like a really big one for you. Yeah,
well, look, every week is. We started 1-3, so the last 2 get us back to 3-3, and that's we sit here going, well, we're back at 3-3, but we know we've got Fremantle next week, and every week's difficult. So back playing some footy that we always knew we were capable of, and it's based on some pure fundamentals of how we want to play. And to the players' credit, they've embraced that. And last 2 weeks we've got back to playing some of the footy we know that we're about.
Don, you'd be right for your captain or your co-captain, Tex, obviously, who has been through a bit, but that today and last week he's on a really nice patch of form now. Can you speak a bit to that? It looks as though it's the Tex we remember from a couple of years ago. Yeah,
and look, the challenge for Tex coming into the year was, you got to remember last year he had such a interrupted season, both through pre-season and through the season, and it's only natural as every sort of player does that at certain points he's probably sitting there going, when was the last time I played one of those really big games? And he had a great pre-season, and it was probably just him trusting in that pre-season and building and continuing to work on some of the things which make him a really powerful player. And the last 2 weeks, and probably 3 weeks ago, I saw signs against North Melbourne that he was sort of getting there, and then last week and this week again he's just taken that next step to be that real powerful and presence in our forward line, and the way he's moving at the moment is makes him difficult to defend. So he's done the work, and it's great to see him back playing that way.
Do you feel a similar story for Brodie Smith on that same train of form, given he was out last year?
Yeah, and that's sometimes you overlook that. I mean, he only played the 2 games last year, and it's easy to go, well, Brodie's back and the magnet looks great and he's going to do it. But sometimes it does take a little bit of time for those guys just to not so much get comfortable, but get reacquainted with the level that's required, and build their own confidence back. And Brodie, his last 2 weeks have been outstanding.
You really found one with Alex Keith back there, haven't you? I think you're number 1 intercept marker in the comp at the moment.
Yeah, he was good again today, Alex, and he's got that really nice knack about to just roll off at the right time and mark it. And he's really, for a guy that's played 25 games, he's really evolving, which is great.
You were in a fair hole a few weeks ago when you were last here. How far do you think you've advanced in terms of getting back to some of your best footy?
Well, we've moved forward on the ladder, which is always pleasing. But more importantly for us, it's how we're playing. And again, after the game against North Melbourne, we were pretty frustrated about how we were playing. Both in the contest against North, we got beaten badly around the ball and we didn't move the ball well. And certainly the players in the headspace they're in now is vastly different to what it was 2 weeks ago. But that just gets us back to level. We've got to keep winning games of footy, and that's our challenge and really opportunity going forward.
The ball movement's obviously improved a fair bit in the past couple of weeks. Is that is it where you want it to be, or do you feel like there's still improvement there?
Well, the ball movement's an interesting one. I mean, I know people often just equate Adelaide with ball movement and stuff, but if we go back a couple of years, we were super in the contest, and that was really what underpinned it. And probably the last 2 weeks, some of our pressure and some of our contest works allowed us to win the ball back in better spots. Whereas against North Melbourne, we're winning the ball back really deep in the ground. It's hard. Opposition's defences now are so good that it's hard to try and score and move the ball consistently out of your back half, and you can see that in any game you watch. It's difficult. So we want to be turning the ball over in better spots. And when we do that, then we're able to rebound quicker and get opposition defences before they get set.
Don, can you tell us a bit about Elliot Himmelberg, please?
In terms of what?
Well, what sort of cat is he? We haven't seen a lot of him.
Yeah, well, his nickname's Easy, and he's easy by nickname and easy by nature, but he's a fierce competitor for a guy who's pretty laid back. He's got a great feel for the game. A young man has come into it. He's been on a list now for 3 years, and he moves well. He competes really strongly, and he's got a good feel for when to lead, when to stay, all those sorts of things. So he's a 3-game player now. So he's at a real baby phase of his career, but we're excited about what he's bringing.
Obviously, don't expect you to make a commitment right here and now, a week out from your next game, but obviously from the outside looking in, his form, you have a nice win. I know Josh Jenkins was okay today in the Sand Football reports, but on the surface it would look like it would be hard to get...
Oh, yeah, we'll whale it up at match committee. I know that Sandford had a good win today, which is great, and I think Josh hit the board with a few goals, but I'll have a look at his game and have a chat to him about how that looks, and we'll make decisions on selection during the week.
How important do you think his introduction's been, though?
Who's that?
Elliot's introduction to the team.
Oh, well, we had no real expectations with Elliot coming in. We knew he's coming in as a 2-game player. It was more the things we're looking for in that role. And that was really his challenge, was to come in and take that role on board, the forward ruck role, and do what we were after in that role. And he's certainly ticked the box in that in the last couple of weeks. So we'll see how that looks.
Just a bit more broadly, I imagine you'd be pretty happy with how the forward line mix is looking at the moment?
Yeah, well, we've certainly hit the board more consistently in the last couple of weeks. So, it's a continual work in progress. I don't think anyone's going to sit here and go, we've sort of solved all. No, we're a work in progress. We've got things we'll keep working on. We're components of our game today, which we'll still be looking at during the week. We've got 8 days into Fremantle, so we get a couple of good training sessions in, and we'll look forward to setting sail against them.
All right, guys, we're playing to
That's the end then. Thanks, guys.